Week 3, Part 1, Environmental Health. Environment affects communities, and communities affect the environment. The environment affects people by the climate, hot, cold, wet, dry, etc., the availability of water and shelter, and if there's good soil to grow plants in. People affect the environment by burning fossil fuels, with waste going into the air, land, and water, creating urban areas, taking away from the forests, plants, and flushing waste into rivers, where it affects plants, animals, fish, and humans. Environmental health can be on a small scale, large scale, affect your own health, with assessment being the key. When it's small scale, it's your personal space, your home, and even yourself. Large scale is the community, neighborhoods, and world. The environment affects the person mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally. Assessment is the key in environmental health. Identify, plan, implement, and evaluate are the stages to the assessment. So how does personal space and home affect your environmental health and self? It isn't the same for everyone. How do you feel or feel you are perceived if your home or work is cluttered, dirty, has unsafe malfunctioning equipment, infectious materials, poor lighting, inadequate ventilation, high noise levels, non-ergonomic work areas, and etc.? What about the large scale? This can be drinking water, air we breathe, food, wildlife, pets, fish and mammals, diseases, cancers, outdoor activities, chronic health problems, longevity of abuse to the environment, industry, and workplace. The environment setting that influences human health incorporates a number of components. This is in your textbook. The environments are natural, constructed, or built, as well as social. Many living things affect human health. Some are beneficial to humans and some are lethal. Plants, animals serve as food for people. Some plants are poisonous if eaten or cause allergic reaction for some. Animals are a source of food, some are companions, and some help control other populations, like birds that eat insects who damage crops. Animals can be from a source of pathogens. Zoonosis is a term when humans get a disease from animals. Biologic agents can be shared with each other or after the agent has acquired from either another animal or plant. Weather and climate can have a positive or negative effect on humans. Weather-related deaths due to heat, turbulent weather, and cold. Global climate change has described as the biggest global health threat of the 21st century. This is from Clark, page 79. Climate change has indirect and direct health effects. Indirect are plant allergens, increase in insect populations, and insect-borne diseases. Direct effects relate mostly to severe weather events. Pollution can be in water, air, or in the form of radiation. 97.5% of the world's water is saltwater or is contaminated. 70% remains frozen in the polar ice caps, which leaves 0.01% for human consumption. Clark, 2015, page 81. Water shortages become more frequent. Wastewaters will be used to irrigate crops. Some disease from water pollutions are diarrheal diseases, malaria, trachomatis infections, intestinal helminths, Japanese encephalitis, heavy metal poisoning, and hepatitis A. Lack of water may cause an increase in conflict throughout the world. Air pollution is a concern nationally and globally. Air pollution is from gas and particulate emissions into the air. Sources are mobile, biogenic, point, and area. Biogenic are natural sources such as a plant, pollens, and dust. Mobile sources are from a single point such as a factory, smokestack, or a storage tank. Area sources are collections of stationary sources in specific locations. There are 6 levels of pollutants monitored by the EPA: carbon monoxide, lead, nitrogen dioxide, and sulfur dioxide, volatile organ compounds, and particulate matter. There's also indoor pollutant air such as tobacco smoke. Radiation is in 2 forms that affect humans: ionizing and non-ionization radiation. Exposure occurs naturally such as radon, or unnaturally such as medical use, discharge from nuclear plants. Environmental sustainability is viewed as the continued growth of the economy and thought of in business and personal perspectives. This basically is the growth of the human population and how the economies can support the population growth. Human-made infrastructures are designed to support human activity. These include homes, workplaces, roads, transportation systems. Direct and indirect effects of health come from built environments. This is lead poisoning from ingestion or inhalation of lead from older structures, painted with lead paint, or respiratory diseases due to air pollution. Indirect are from effects of the built environment on the natural environment or humans' behaviors. Air pollution from traffic emissions and near major highways. Home safety is a concern related to built environments. Deficiencies in plumbing, heating, electricity, hallways, or upkeep of the home. Conditions of the home can also affect chronic illnesses, better or worse. For example, asthma triggers free constructed homes, decreasing asthma attacks. Rural environments have been considered as helpful to the environment except when factory farms, which are concentrated animal operations, cause significant air and water pollutions. Influence on health-related behaviors. For example, tobacco outlets in relation to residential areas and smoking cessation or small grocery stores in large neighborhoods impacting BMI. Parks and recreational areas influence physical activities that have been built in the urban areas. Urban sprawl is a pattern of uncontrolled development around the periphery of a city. It has a low population density, loss of open spaces, automobile dependence due to low connectivity between destinations, air and water pollution, and limited opportunities to bike or walk to work. Small Grown counteracts it. It's a policy framework that promotes urban development patterns characterized by high population density, bikeable and walkable neighborhoods, preserving the green spaces. Mixed-use development is the extent to which urban developments creates combination areas of residential and commercial areas. It ensures that people have to commute to work or shopping areas and increase motor vehicle traffic while decreasing opportunities for walking or biking. This all leads to increased resource use. This is the ecological footprint. It is the amount of environmental resources in terms of productive land or water required by a population to support a lifestyle. Social capital is a result from relationships made within a group. Recourses are available to the group also impact the social capital. Social policy is what is used to make policies that affect the environment. A good example is the policy or law, in this case to make Nebraska a smoke-free state. Other examples of policies are those enforced by the EPA, the Clean Air Act of 1970, and the Clean Water Act of 1972. The Clean Air Act of 1970 enforces the emission standards related to the transportation and industrial industries. The Clean Water Act regulates the wastewater and sets standard surface contaminants on the water. Energy consumption is the total amount of energy used by a person or a household. This energy usage is reflective of the footprint left in the environment. The need to increase the renewable energy sources and lessen the use of fossil fuels that leave a large footprint and impacts health. Waste management includes solid waste, hazardous waste, heavy metals, and biological waste. Solid waste such as paper products, glass, metal, plastics, rubber, and leather, textiles, wood, and other wastes, which includes food scraps, yard trimmings, and other organic wastes. Hazardous wastes are considered to be dangerous to our health and or the environment. Hazardous waste can be liquids, solids, gases, or sludge. These wastes are usually generated by human activities. Biological wastes occur when the bacteria is released into the water supplies or contaminated foods. These wastes are created by humans, animals, and insects, as well as decomposing plants. Chemical hazards are generated by different industrial processes and even household use of chemicals that is released into the water supply. Heavy metals are also a byproduct of industry process or home use of products. Toxic chemical wastes are the result of industry processes. Examples are metal mining, electrical utilities, and agricultural runoffs.